because markets are very dynamic. If you think that आज मैंने कुछ पढ़ लिया and if I using it for next 20 years in markets, आप इतना नहीं बना पाओगे market में returns जितना आप 20 साल के बाद और कोई बना लेगा. So I used to be at office at 9 and I used to be in office until 9. So I used to practice a lot and I practiced that much that when I actually start recommending so that my accuracy level goes up. Nifty is back to 2500. I was like, wow, I'm back into the trade. And there I kept my positions open. I recovered all my loss, M2M, whatever you say. I sold everything at 3000, 3200 then, made profits. And then I never got into the futures thereafter unless I completed my MBA. What mistake they do, generally these traders are like, they focus on making winning trades. Okay, कि जल्दी जल्दी में पैसा बना लूँ, and they're not focusing on the losing trades. Don't do a compulsive trading. So मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, I will do it.
Okay, started, no?
हाँ.
ठीक है. So hi Jay sir, thank you so much.
एक मिनट कट भाई, जय सर नहीं जय बुलाओ यार.
जय बुलाओ? ठीक है. Okay.
Be comfortable.
Hi Jay, thank you so much for coming to the headquarters of Upsurge and taking out time for this podcast. And can you start by telling us about your background, because हमारी काफी interesting conversation हो रही थी पहले, and I wouldn't want our viewers to miss out on that whole spice that you told me about. So can you tell me how you started, where did you do your education, how you got into CMT, CFA? You have done a lot of things in life, so let's get started.
Sure, Sanjana. Thank you so much for having me in the Upsurge HQ for this podcast. And yes, we'll try that. This podcast helps, or my experience about the market and my journey in this market basically helps the other traders. It's like, learning from someone's mistake or learning from someone's experience. Basically, आपका समय बचाता है, if you want to become something like that, So I hope that it turns out to be one such kind of a podcast. So thanks for having me out here. And and as far as my journey to becoming what I am today, touchwood, I'm thankful to God, my parents, and all my well-wishers, I would say, first of all, for that. And how I started all of this was, I was a bright student, from my school days. So quite inclined towards, honestly, inclined towards maths. And theoretical subjects were not something which I wanted to use, or maybe something I want to make my career out of it. May it be law, or maybe something else. It was like कि हाँ मुझे maths अच्छा लगता था, numbers. Okay. And from my school days, I mean, my maternal side of the family belongs to Gujarat, Ahmedabad. Okay, so obviously during summer vacations, where do people go? Maternal uncle, mama के उधर हर कोई जाता है छुट्टियां मनाने, so जाता था. And India's number one institute, I would say, as far as MBA is concerned, or something like that. So that's in Ahmedabad. I am Ahmedabad, right? So once upon a day, it happened so that my maternal uncle took me on a round, and we happened to visit I am Ahmedabad. It's like, बेटा ये देख कैसा है? बहुत अच्छा बिल्डिंग है, क्या है? I am Ahmedabad है. Would you like to have a look at it from inside? I said, why not? Sure. We got a chance to explore it. Okay, and I met a couple of students out there, and मैंने समझा कि क्या है MBA and उसके क्या benefits है. Frankly, the students out there asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm in 8th standard. They said that you're too early. 8th mein, what would you do there, right?
Yeah.
So, but then from there, I got to know that what MBA finance, or what how one can pursue a career out there, and what one can be. So there are so many careers. I'll tell you, Sanjana, one thing. Right now, also, if you go and check in school, you ask the school students, those who are in 8, 9, 10, they don't know what they want to do in their career.
Right.
Not even their parents know about it, what they want to do in their career.
Right.
So fortunately, I got a chance to visit IIM Ahmedabad, और मुझे ऐसा लगा नहीं मुझे MBA करना है finance में. So that is when I thought MBA in finance. As I said, I was always a bright student. So I got an admission in one of the topmost institute in Mumbai, Narsi Munji College of Commerce and Economics. So I graduated from there. Now Narsi Munji, Sanjana, is known for those who are NMItes. Right. It's known for the one who go there become a CA, chartered accountant.
Okay.
So I had a group of almost 16 friends out there. All of them, most of them, I would say, they were pursuing CA. Three of us, were different. We thought MBA in finance, and I thought from my school days now, मेरा तो सपना ही वो था, वहाँ पे जाना है कि MBA करना है, either of this, okay. So yeah, now thereafter, after passing out or after graduating, then I did my masters, that is MCom, and then fortunately I could pursue MBA as well. So I prepared for entrance and everything, and I wanted to do MBA in finance. अब कॉलेज में एडमिशन तो मिल गया. That was in NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research in Mumbai. Okay, and now that's again one of the best institute then in finance. So not everyone used to get admission in MBA in finance in NL Dalmia.
Okay.
It was like that, and you need to be scoring well even after getting an admission. You need to be scoring well in the first year. If you do that, then only you will be offered finance as a faculty. Otherwise, you will be shifted to something else, maybe operations, marketing, or something, HR. But that was not my area of interest. So I took that risk then. So that is where the risk taking, factor came into.
Okay.
Okay. So I took the risk. कि नहीं, अगर करना है तो finance ही करना है. I'll try in the first year. And yes, again, I got MBA in finance. I scored well in my first year.
You were a bright student.
I was, yes,
Yeah,
now we know that. So I got MBA in finance, and that was known for derivatives, financial markets.
Right.
I would say that noted organizations, institutions of India used to come. I would not like to name them, I cannot, but then they used to come and offer jobs to the students of NL Dalmia or to Dalmiites, I would say, on the day one of the placement. So half of the crowd used to be placed on the day one, and maybe the rest of the crowd in that week itself. So that's how it was known for finance. So I got the admission there, but then what in finance? I mean, there are so many things again in finance. So if you see the history or if you see the career of someone wants to build a career right from school days. करना क्या life में? मैं करूँ क्या? Commerce, science, arts, etc. Don't know. Then you get into something, you take commerce. Now commerce में क्या? It's like that. Now you go into MBA. MBA में क्या? So there's always a question. But then what interested me while pursuing MBA in finance was this financial markets.
Achha.
So I thought, ये तो career यहीं पे बनाना है, because I was taught derivatives. Now again, there was a lot of use of maths, stats out there, and derivatives especially. So if you want to become a CFO of a company, so probably you might not be using that much of stats as much as a derivative analyst or derivative guy would be using. You understand that? Okay. And of course, I always like financial statements as well, analyzing them. I mean, accounts वगैरह भी अच्छा लगता है. But if you ask me choose one only, then I would choose math stats, then accounts.
Okay.
So I scored always good in everything, but then math stats. So derivatives. So okay, and then what happened is, while pursuing MBA in finance, I also learned technical analysis, and that interests me a lot. I mean, how can one make predictions about the markets? I mean, we always thought of one thing, you can project prices, you can predict markets, stock prices, valuing the companies fundamentally. So there are so many topics, I would say, which are based on fundamental valuation.
Correct.
DCF modeling or APV and etc. Right? You come to a fair value of a company, right? आप research किए and then you buy it, right? But there was this something else, technical analysis. I mean, no requirement of understanding financial statements. आपने chart देखा और वहाँ से भी आप कर सकते हो. I wanted to explore that. I explored that well during my journey of MBA in finance. And there was a course in my institute, okay, in which I aced the batch. So I was a topper in that. So I got the PPO with Sher Khan.
Oh.
Okay.
Nice.
And I was like so happy. Wow. I got my first job then. So that's how technicals. Okay. That's how my education is. Then I got into my job, and then while working also, I always wanted to upskill, because that's my nature. Whatever I get into, Sanjana, I want to know it properly. Otherwise, it doesn't give me that satisfaction that I'm doing this with half knowledge. So half knowledge is not useful, is what I'm a firm believer since the beginning.
Very true.
So then came CMT, upskilling, then came CFA, and I would say that I'm still learning a lot, and I would be a student of the market, I would say, until the last day I work in market. That's what I'm going to be always, because markets are very dynamic. If you think that आज मैंने कुछ पढ़ लिया, and if I keep that using it for next 20 years in markets, probably आप इतना नहीं बना पाओगे मार्केट में रिटर्न्स जितना 20 साल के बाद और कोई बना लेगा. So yes, old theories work. वॉरेन बफे की थियरी हो, पीटर लिंच की थियरी हो इन फंडामेंटल्स. Sorry, I may not have named other few biggies as well, or maybe technicals में maybe Robert Precher or maybe Edward Magee or Martin Preng, all of them have done good, and those things are useful. They are the fundamentals of your life. Those are the base. But market move ahead. Nowadays, if you see, quant trading kitna ho gaya, algo trading kitna ho gaya, so one needs to be upskilling oneself.
It's all very dynamic.
Very dynamic. So I'm doing that, and that is what will keep me going in the markets. So I would say to all your viewers that ये तो मेरी जर्नी रही है, मेरी जर्नी कंटिन्यू भी रहेगी. That's how it's going to be.
So, sir, Jay, I mean, so two things that I get out of your background is that you like to go into the depth of things.
Right.
You like to understand everything in depth rather than half knowledge.
Right.
And second is that world is dynamic. The financial landscape is dynamic, and you need to continue upskilling yourself.
Yes.
And that's what we do at Upsurge also.
Yeah.
We really push people to learn about trading and investing before they jump into actually, executing trades.
Correct.
So that is one thing that was very interesting. So talking about your professional journey, you were with Sher Khan, you were also with other brokerages. I just want to know how your typical day looked like. कि आपका स्टार्टिंग में आप 9 बजे ऑफिस आए, मार्केट्स आर ओपनिंग एट 9:15. हाउ डिड दैट रश, हाउ वाज योर डे filled with what work? That
Sure. See, I'll share my experience. I'll also share my journey that right from becoming a technical analyst, I started my career with, to what I was until my last job as a head of alternate research.
Okay.
So how one can grow, that is also something apart from what a typical day looks like. Because what happens is a typical day of a technical analyst is different from a typical day of a head of alternate research.
Okay.
That's what is the difference. I'll show you. So the thing is, when I started my career as a technical analyst with Sher Khan, obviously it was only understanding markets through charts, right? I would say that anyone who starts the career or begins initially by doing whatever new, so charts were new for me, although I topped the batch, but then doing it practically and then recommending thereafter to the clients of the company, okay, that's a huge responsible work, right? I mean, on your behalf someone would be, or on your advice someone would be trading. So it's a huge responsibility, right? It's a social responsibility as well. I would say that, during COVID time, हर किसी को कहा जाता था ना कि doctors or maybe medical stores or maybe policemen, all of them are like what to say, into some category, right? And salute to all those guys. But then obviously those who were into financial world, banks were open, markets were open. So this is also something which was responsibility of the financial advisors or everything to give a proper advice to everyone, right? So it's a responsible work. ऐसा नहीं है कोविड है तो हम responsibly कुछ advise नहीं करेंगे. From there you understand you're managing someone's money or you're advising someone to trade on their hard-earned money, right? So I used to be a technical analyst. Just starting में था मैं, I used to spend my day of almost like 14 hours at office. So generally typical job is of what, 7 to 8 hours, 9 hours, 9 to 6, right?
9 hours.
So it then used to be markets used to open at 9:55 then. So I used to be at office at 9 and I used to be in office until 9. Okay. So I used to practice a lot and I practiced that much that when I actually start recommending to so that my accuracy level goes up. Because the more and more you practice, the more and more perfect, or you reach near perfection. Okay, that is what I wanted to do. So my typical day started at probably you can say 6 a.m. 7 a.m. then, because I had 7 a.m. probably. I had to reach office at 9, so get ready and everything and rush to office at 9, and it ended at 9.
Okay.
Then, right? Then I wanted to pursue derivatives as well, because that is what I had learned in MBA. So derivatives भी करना था. So a couple of job changes इसीलिए हुए, तो derivatives भी add हुआ मेरे career में. Then I was catering to the institution clients. Right.
Okay.
अब जब derivatives देखना था साथ ही साथ, you know what happens, Sanjana, is that you're just looking market from one part, that is technicals. अब मुझे derivatives भी देखना था. So एक additional responsibility आ गई again. You know, that's how it was. So my day started. I used to, I started, getting up earlier. So 7 बजे कर लिया, अब 6 बजे. थोड़ा 1 घंटा और दे दो to understand the derivatives data. You know, and then working, practicing more towards derivatives. So again, my day used to end at 7, 8, going forward as well. Okay, derivatives आने के बाद I changed my job to, to becoming a head of technicals, and thereafter head of technicals and derivatives, and then it ended up to head of alternate research, head of research as well in between, right, at Marwadi Shares, and then a head of alternate research at Sher Khan, my last job, right. So I kept adding things to my profile. I mean, from technicals to derivatives, and then to quant research as well. So as things got adding, or things were added up to my overall profile, I had to reach office more earlier. So that I had to look at more data points. So 9 बजे के बाद obviously markets only start at 9, 9:15, but then I reach by 7:38, or maybe get to work at 7. Probably even if I'm traveling, say, I'm traveling to my office, I'll be working in the car. Okay. So 1 घंटा उसी में काम कर दिया. So typically day now starts at 5. Right? Or maybe 4:30 जो बोलते हैं ना कि ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में जागो उठते हैं. That's how it is. So take that thing positively. 4:35 is what my day starts at. It goes until 6. That's my typical job hours or working hours. Okay. But I'll tell you one thing. Since you are in the business of trading, you need to be updated every time what's happening elsewhere, right? So typically, my day ends at around 7, 7:30. And then I wake up early again. I do not track US markets at night, and I would also recommend anyone and everyone not to do that. आप 11 बजे 12 बजे 2 बजे आपका डे एंड मत कीजिए. Do not do that. Have a good sleep. Have a good sound sleep. That is what is required for a next good trading day. A fresh mind.
Makes sense.
So जल्दी उठो, जल्दी सो जाओ, and but then markets are now so dynamic. I would say that you don't need to be tracking markets at least for 12 hours, either by traveling on your mobile or laptop or whatever. So that's how my day starts and ends.
That's very interesting. I mean, quite a long day. We work for 9 hours and we crib, but this is quite a good insight.
But that was not I would say, Sanjana, what my organization or company asked to work for 12 hours. It is out of my
wish, I get that.
Because I want to excel, that is how it was.
Yeah, interesting. So, sir, I've also noticed on Twitter that a lot of people appreciate your strategic moves in the market that you predict and all of that. So, could you tell us about the first trade that you had initially taken, and what is that story?
Sure, Sanjana. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my followers as well. I mean, for showering so much of love. And I try to give maximum, as I can, and I'm so happy that they are benefited. It's always for that, that my advice benefits someone, and someone make money out of it. That's the main goal, and if that is getting achieved, now that motivates, and that is what is keeping me alive and kicking. During market task, I want to do this more and more. If people are making money on my advice, I like that. It hurts if it doesn't happen sometime, but then of these 15, 16 years, at least now I'm so experienced that I'm able to sail through it in my rough patch, I would say, and come out of it as well. But yeah, see, my first trade happened when I was in my MBA days. So, I mean, amazing teaching there in Anil Lalme Institute then. I mean, I would like to name that Professor Naveen Bhatia, late Professor Naveen Bhatia, I would say. Ultimate professor. He used to teach derivatives so well that I would say that hardly any institute in Mumbai used to do that. Okay, so well. He taught us how to apply things practically as well. And I'm so fortunate that my dad allowed me. He gave me some capital to apply whatever I used to. I was learning that point of time. During my MBA days, I used to apply that practically. And my trade started when I was pursuing MBA. So it was way back in 2008. In that time, we had this global financial crisis. huge market crash, right, from 6,300 Nifty to 2,200, 25, 22, 25, right? Almost markets plummeted by 60%. And then, Sanjana, in India, I mean, those who were trading in derivatives or traders then were more in futures. Nowadays, you must be hearing more of options,
Yeah.
right? Right. Then it was futures. Not
Oh.
much people were trained about options trading, right? Futures may, as you know, the payoff is unlimited risk, है ना?
Yes.
But still people were into futures, and so was I. But then I was learning derivatives, so I was learning options pricing, valuation. So I was trading in options and futures both. So I
Okay.
began my trading in options then because I was allowed to trade then because I was not working with any organization. So I was not under any compliance of SEBI or any organization. करो ट्रेडिंग तो मैं करता था ट्रेडिंग और डैड ने पैसे दे दिए बोले
हाँ.
करो बट टू अ लिमिटेड एक्सटेंट कि इससे ज़्यादा थोड़ा था बंद कर देना
हाँ.
बोला श्योर श्योर so that helped me thanks to that and I started my career trading first trade when I was in my college had made good money in options so I thought I would do futures as well because others were doing futures ऑप्शन में पैसे कम लगते हैं ना
हाँ.
प्रीमियम कम होता है तो
Right.
मैंने वो स्टार्ट किया वो भी लॉजिक से मेड मनी went to futures started adding long positions on mini nifty then पैसा इतना टूटने लगा M2M इतना आने लगा कि बट आई हैड वन थिंग इन माय माइंड दैट आई विल बी कीपिंग डिसिप्लिन मेंटेनिंग डिसिप्लिन स्टॉप लॉसेस एवरीथिंग बिकॉज आई हैड लर्न टेक्निकल्स देन राइट सो मैंने एक स्टॉप लॉस रखा था आई वाज लॉन्ग इन निफ्टी मिनी निफ्टी फ्यूचर्स फ्रॉम 2800 लेवल्स
Okay.
ठीक है ना 2800 के लेवल से आई वाज लॉन्ग एंड आई हैड दिस स्टॉप लॉस ऑफ 2200 डीप स्टॉप लॉस ओके बट दैट टू ऑन अ क्लोजिंग बेसिस आई मीन आई हैड डन गुड रिसर्च दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम एंड सोचा नहीं था कि 2200 आएगा मैं तो सोचा 2600 के नीचे ही नहीं आएगा मार्केट वो निफ्टी वोंट कम अबव बिलो 2600 सो व्हाट आई डिड वाज आई डिड ओवर लेवरेजिंग so that is not again not good so we'll talk about it over leveraging payoffs and everything I didn't understand risk that point of time much so मैंने मिनी निफ्टी बाय करना स्टार्ट किया 2800 से and I used to buy it every 10-20 points 10 रुपए गिरा 20 रुपए गिरा keep adding
Okay.
I was so aggressive
Okay.
because I was pretty confident it won't go below 2600. It happens to get moved below 2600 so rapidly. Sanjana कि वो 2600 से it was approaching towards 2200.
Oh.
I was tense. Now again, we'll talk about it. ये first trade जब मेरा start हुआ ना उससे मैं एक और चीज़ सीखा. It was taught me during my technicals कि ignore the noise. So I'm so fortunate to again my mentor then who taught me technicals. I'm so fortunate to my institute who arranged that technical analysis course. So this is how learning helps, you know. कि avoid the noise, ignore the noise, don't overtrade, maintain the discipline कि जब loss हो रहा है तो निकल जाना. तो मेरे first trade में जब मैंने लिया ना मुझे ये सब तो पता था. It was just that कि मैंने over leverage. I was like risking more. Little bit overconfident कि 2600 के नीचे नहीं आएगा. So when I was making the trades, obviously from branch of one of the broker, there were people out there who were panicking because market was about to hit the lower circuit then, and people like selling crazily, becho, 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 and all that. I had learned this in technicals. When everyone is selling, you are buying, but then there has to be a level also, right? ऐसा 2 दिन तक चला तो you cannot do that in futures.
Yeah.
But I knew that 2200 के आसपास there is a support. And these people are selling at the bottom, and I could feel that panic at the bottom, and that was basically influencing me to exit from markets. कि मैं भी बेच दूँ loss में. But then I was like, no, I want to wait for this. I told the dealer there, 2200 अगर break होता है, don't even ask me. I mean on a closing basis, don't even ask me exit. You call me at 3:15. Where is it? I'll tell you whether to exit or remain in the position. And I left from there because I wanted to ignore this noise. बाहर चले गया. He called me at 3:15 saying, sir, Nifty is back to 2500. I was like, wow, I'm back into the trade. And there I kept my positions open. I recovered all my loss, M2M, whatever you say. I sold everything at 3000, 3200 then, made profits. And then I never got into the futures thereafter until unless I completed my MBA. So that was my first trade wherein I learned so much practically as well what I had learned theoretically.
अगर आप इस वीडियो को देख रहे हैं तो आई एम श्योर आप मार्केट्स में सक्सेसफुली ट्रेड करना चाहते हो. अलग अलग टाइप के कैंडलस्टिक और चार्ट पैटर्न समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि यही पैटर्न्स आपको सही एंट्री और एग्जिट लेने में हेल्प करेंगे. ज्योति बुधिया मैम ने Upsurge.club के टेक्निकल एनालिसिस कोर्स में चार्ट पैटर्न्स, इंडिकेटर्स, ट्रेंड लाइंस और स्टॉक सिलेक्शन जैसे कई इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स इन डिटेल कवर किए हैं। अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर 10,000 प्लस लर्नर्स, ये आपके ट्रेडिंग जर्नी को फास्ट ट्रैक करने में काफी हेल्पफुल हो सकता है। तो आज ही डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पे क्लिक कीजिए और टेक्निकल एनालिसिस सीखिए। नाउ लेट्स गेट बैक टू द वीडियो।
Do you trade or you also invest a part of your in those times? Were you also into long term investing, or were you just dabbling with trading because of technical analysis?
See, there is a myth, first of all, Sanjana, which I would like to clear it out. That technicals means trading, right? So I would say that I am an Elliottician as well. Obviously, I know technicals, derivatives, quant, now fundamental, anything and everything I track. But then, Elliott waves is very close to my heart, and there are also a handful of people who are doing good Elliott waves in the industry. I am fortunate I am one of them, and hence I'm saying that technicals is just not about trading. आप technicals से investment ideas भी ले सकते हो, because using Elliott waves, Sanjana, you can predict stock prices or markets for next coming 2-3 years or maybe 4 years as well. इतना तक हो सकता है. So that's a myth. Technicals is just for trading, it's for investment as well.
Okay.
Now coming to how do I manage my trading and investments, right? So then I was trading, and as I said, during my college days, but then when I got into the job, as per the compliance of SEBI, as per the compliance of my organization, I'm not allowed to trade.
Right.
Okay, I mean not allowed to trade maybe intraday or short term. So my minimum trades have to be of minimum 6 months. That's the rule.
Okay.
And I want to meet that. Okay, adhere to all those compliance of SEBI and
Makes sense.
organization. So whatever investments or decisions I've taken in direct equity, I have bought shares in past, but I've never sold before 6 months after my buying date. Okay, so now for doing that 6 months, 11 months or 12 months or maybe 18 months, that is where Elliott waves help to take or forecast that much.
Oh.
Okay. Now derivatives doesn't help you to basically make 6 months or 12 months ka trading or investments, right? So derivatives is for trading.
Okay.
Maybe expiry to expiry, right?
Understood.
So I've never traded after getting into a job, okay, or after getting into a service industry. I've never traded. So all what I've done is an investment of minimum 6 months or more than that. And of course, I have entered or participated in market. I'm still participating in market indirectly. That's via investments in mutual funds.
Got it.
I understand a lot of mutual fund, since I've done a lot of mutual fund research as well during my job with various organizations, and also while pursuing MBA. So I would like to trade, okay, but I'm not allowed to. Although I'm allowed to trade in index options or index derivatives contracts, maybe futures and
Right.
options. I'm allowed by SEBI. I can do that intraday. But you know what? Since I recommend to mass, I mean clients of my company, or maybe those who are watching me on various media platforms. So if I take my own trades, probably I think that Sanjana, I may be more biased towards it. I don't want to be biased. Okay, and then I don't want to be that I'm advising or recommending and I'm trading myself also. I may not be able to recommend properly just because I'm into my own trades. So I've kept two things separate. Hence I don't trade.
Got
What
it.
I can do in future, probably if my if compliance allows, okay, that I would rather do algo trading. Okay, quant trading, quant based trading in index options or futures or whatever, mostly index. That is where maximum participation is. उससे क्या होगा कि there will be no emotional attachment. मेरे trades automatically हो रहे somewhere, and if I am recommending somewhere, that is not interconnected, and I don't even have to look at my positions.
Right.
And I'm recommending properly, honestly. That is what it is. Bias नहीं आना चाहिए मेरा. So investments I do. Right?
And on that, correct me if I'm wrong. I think 70% of trading volumes in India is through algo trading, right? Right now?
No.
No, not currently.
Because it may be, but it is because probably you are considering the volumes coming out of prop books,
Okay.
proprietary trading and all of that, right? But if you consider pure of retail trading or maybe institution trading, that's not coming out of algo as of
Algos.
now. There's more of manual judgment is what people are taking. Proprietary traders are definitely very much in options trading and everything. but I'm not considering that as of now.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes, options is where I think entire market ka dynamics have changed too. Earlier, as I said, in 2008, more of volume used to happen in futures. Nowadays, if you see Sanjana, then out of 100% volumes in derivatives, 98% happens in options, only 2% happens in futures. So futures to log bhul hi gaye. Of these 98% in options, 96% happens in index options. So
Okay.
even stock options are like 3-4%. So people are more focusing on index. And now you have an expiry every day, maybe of NSE or BSEs, right? And I would say that on expiry day, whatever indices or कोई भी index का entire week में जितना volume होता है ना, उसका 70-75% volume happens on a day of expiry.
Oh.
That much.
Okay.
So it's crazy. I mean, and I think that offers immense liquidity into the markets as well. Which and India is now number one derivative market in the world, right? So you see the liquidity out here. So in such a liquid market, you can create or trade on algo or quant based products or strategies. It makes life easier to enter and exit. There is not much of impact cost.
Yeah.
So if I want to trade on myself, I would say, as you are asking me, I would rather focus on quant and not manually. I would not do myself because I'm recommending to people.
Okay.
तो दोनों अलग ही रखा है.
Right. So Jay, because you spoke about so many costs involved and how algo trading is beneficial and is the future, a lot of traders make good returns on a gross level.
Right.
But after deduction of brokerage fees, their return is probably negative.
Correct.
And because you come with a lot of experience from brokerage houses, what is your take on this?
I would say yes, Sanjana, you are right. I mean, see, in markets, there are so many traders. We have seen that, SEBI has also come out with a report that maximum of the traders are making loss. I mean, 9 out of 10 traders are making loss. Probably they are making good as far as gross profit is concerned. But when SEBI is considering 9 on 10 people are making loss, it must be that more of people are making net loss. Why? See, I would say that there are certain ways how you should be trading in markets. I mean, see, any business you do, Sanjana, you tell me that whether your margin has to be good or not. It has to be good, right? Then only business is sustainable.
Yes.
I mean, people are so much now, I would say, especially the millennials or maybe the Gen Z, they are more of inclined towards startups and everything, and they have this thing in mind कि initially तो loss ही होता है, over a period of time profit हो जाता है. Stock market is not such that आप starting में एक साल loss करो and then profit हो जाएगा. How are you going to raise money? It's your own capital which you have wiped off. खत्म. तो यहाँ पे you are judged by not making 1-2 years of loss. People like millennials and Gen Z is like जो साल 2 साल loss करता है ना वो कंपनी आगे जाके profit करता है. I am against that. I would say within 1 year, if you are not able to break even, probably you are doing something wrong. Probably I say. Someone might be taking me wrong. What is he saying? But generally, if you break even earlier, it's good to sustain.
Correct.
And especially in markets, yes, you have to break even early. You have to learn quickly. You just cannot wipe out your capital. And you will not be able to raise money to trade, right? So, what mistake they do? Generally, these traders are like they focus on making winning trades. Okay, कि जल्दी जल्दी में पैसा बना लूँ, and they're not focusing on the losing trades. By that, I would say that win-loss ratio.
Correct.
That has to be good. You just don't focus that out of 10, my 6 trades are positive and 4 are not. Maybe I'm having a strike rate of 60% and someone would claim it that I'm having a strike rate of 80%. When my 8 trades are good, profitable, and 2 trades are non-profitable, then too I'm making loss. Why? Because of your win-loss ratio, because of the risk-reward. I mean, of those 8 trades which are in profit, Sanjana, I would say that you have made, say, 10, 15, say, assume 10 points, okay, on premium. So, आप लिया 110 पे बेचा every time, So, you made 10 rupees per trade, you have made 80 points.
Correct.
Right. Those 2 trades wherein you are making loss, what generally people do, what is the tendency, what is the behavior, what is the psychology of the traders? जैसे profit में आता है, जट से निकल जाते हैं. They move out of profits very quickly.
Yeah.
They keep riding there or being into the trade for long, right? It has to be opposite. You have to keep riding your profits and exit or cut your losses. People do it opposite, right? So 10 रुपए में निकलो, you make total 80 rupees of gains, okay? But you bought for 100 rupees, okay? And you end up holding it until it becomes worthless. That is zero, because you know what? Options expire worthless. Most of the options, right? 50% at least during the expiry. So आपका zero हो गया, आपने कितना loss किया? 200 points.
Oh.
You made what? 80 points. And you are saying that your strike rate is 80% and still you're making loss because of this trading discipline is not there in your trade, right? Other thing, even if your trading win-loss ratio is good, it has to be more than 1:2. Your win-loss ratio has to be more than 1:3, 4, considering the other cost, brokerage cost or trading cost.
Okay.
So consider that your strike rate is 60%. Okay, you are making say 20 rupees or 20 points in on each of your trade. So it sums up to what? 120 points. Then in loss trades, you are exiting at say probably at 25 points. Okay, so 4 trades were in loss. Okay, so there you have lost 100 points. So still at gross level you are 20 points profit. But when you deduct transaction cost or maybe other cost, nowadays you see brokerage cost is as low as it can be. Now, as low, somewhere it is zero, somewhere it is 20 rupees per trade, whatever, as low as it can be. Now, they cannot offer you brokerage. कि आप trade करो 20 रुपए लेके भी जाओ. That cannot offer. So, it's at the lowest level is what I feel now. And in that also, if you're just making 20 rupees gross now, then again your risk reward and win-loss ratio is not good. So, I think traders, Sanjana, should focus not only on the winning trades, they should be focusing on higher risk reward and a good win loss ratio.
Okay.
अगर आपका वो नहीं आ रहा है तो you take only those trades wherein your risk reward or win loss ratio is good. Don't do a compulsive trading. कि मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है I will do it. अच्छा लग रहा है you do it, but win loss ratio risk reward अच्छा है तो ही.
Got it.
So what you need to have a good profit for that, what do you require? Considering transaction cost and brokerage cost or whatever. First of all, your strike rate has to be good. Okay. Other is risk reward and win loss has to be good. Even if your strike rate is at 30%, but if your win loss is 1:4, 5, risk reward and all that is 1:4, 5, आपने लॉस में 10-10 रुपए गवाया तो 70 पॉइंट गवा दिए आउट ऑफ 10. और 30 में अगर आपने 50-50 पॉइंट कमाया ना, यू आर मेकिंग 150 पॉइंट्स. So with a low strike rate and higher risk reward or win loss, you're still ending up with good profit. So either you have a very good strike rate and a decent risk reward, or have a very good risk reward and a okay strike rate. And if you have both, nothing like it. I mean, you are one of the pro traders in the market. Try for having both, but if not, then at least focus on risk reward and win loss. We also look at Camel ratio. What is that? One can check it out. So it's like how much reward is against the risk and everything. So check out those things, Sharpe ratio, Camel ratio of your trades to understand whether you will be making money or not. And if you're not making money, try to improvise your trading strategy in order to have a good net profit margin.
Understood. So you also mentioned that you have been a specialist in Elliott waves.
Yeah.
Now, Elliott waves, as per my knowledge, is quite subjective, right?
Perfect.
And the entry and exit points are not clearly defined. So it gets very difficult to apply the same strategy in every trade that you take using Elliott waves. So what have you cracked in this approach? Can you tell us in a few words how Elliott waves exactly works?
Sure, quite interesting as this subject is very close to my heart. Right. See, Elliott waves, Sanjana, I would say that, as you said, it is very subjective. It's not completely subjective. Yes, some element of subjective things are always there in whatever analysis you do, right? So, for example, if you're doing a fundamental research, is there a rule that this much PE is overvalued and this much PE is undervalued?
Definitely not. No.
Right. So that is out of experience, right? So that is what is subjective. Okay. Otherwise, Elliott waves, I would say, has very clear defined rules.
Okay.
That if suppose there are 5-wave rising structure, there are rules for these 5 waves. So that is not subjective. But how you analyze those 5 waves, that is subjective. So suppose in book it is given that 5 waves ka rule ye hai, the 4th wave cannot enter into the wave territory of 1. 3rd wave has to be the largest, or it cannot be the shortest, rather, I would put it that way. And that is what it is. I mean, that is the rule for an impulse or a motive wave. Okay. And corrective waves have their own rules or guidelines. I mean, if wave 2 is sharp, then wave 4 is probably sideways. All of these rules and guidelines are there.
Oh.
Okay. You have to follow those rules and guidelines. Now, you have learned that. I have learned that. But how do you apply That is subjective.
Mm.
So that the author doesn't know how you are applying, right?
Yeah.
If you apply it properly, probably you are doing the best. So the application and each and everyone will have Sanjana a strike rate. No one can be 100%, right?
Got it.
While you are applying things, So by that I would say that Elliott waves have good rules and guidelines defined. It is up to the Elliott wave practitioner that how he or she is applying it, whereas the subjectivity comes into the play. So one who has mastered it probably is close to perfection of using rules and guidelines properly. One has to be focusing there. I mean, what's happening is people ignore applying the rules and guidelines properly as far as Elliott waves is concerned because they are very complex. The rules of Elliott waves are so complex that first of all, understanding it or grasping it entirely by someone is not there. I mean, no one has in fact know the rules of Elliott waves properly. I see hardly anyone knows it properly, 100%.
Acha.
That is the problem, and that is why people say it is very subjective. Otherwise, it is not.
So, sir, I've got a good idea of what you're saying, but can you share an example of how, or a case study of how Elliott waves can be applied to a trading setup?
Absolutely. See, what is the benefit, first of all, of applying or doing research using Elliott waves? Why? Apart from classical technicals. Sanjana, applying Elliott waves helps you to be ahead of the crowd. Okay. So, for example, in technical analysis, I am sure that your viewers or traders must be knowing about the classical chart patterns. It can be, triangles, rectangles, all of those congestion, bullish flag and bearish flag, all of this, right? But which side the triangle is going to break out? Probably there is no such defined rule. Yes, there is something, a guideline that wherever side there is a trend, the triangle will break out that side. So suppose if there is a consolidation which is forming a symmetrical or an ascending triangular pattern, technically, so triangle का breakout वहाँ पे आएगा wherein the prior trend was. So if the prior trend was up, consolidation, then breakout will be up.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That is what is the general assumption. I would say, right. But then when will one buy? After the breakout has come, because that will confirm कि breakout आया, volume के साथ आया. There was a good bullish momentum as well. These all things confirm. So buy.
Right.
That is how it is. Elliott waves have using Elliott wave, you can predict where the breakout is going to come. Because Elliott waves are divided into 5 waves, something within the triangle also, wherein you label it as A, B, C, D, E, and wherever E ends, the breakout comes on the opposite side. So suppose there is a rising market, then you have a consolidation, right? In that consolidation, there are 5 waves, A, B, C, D, E, and then the breakout is going to come on the opposite side. At E, that is right at the bottom, you are saying, ले लो यहाँ से breakout ऊपर आएगा. That a classical guy would not be able to tell you. So what happens is basically the consolidation is say within the range of say 100 to 70. The breakout is at say 85. Okay, you have bought it at 70. So when it travels from 70 to 85, the classical guy would enter at 85. Right? You have already made how much? 15 points, and that is what 20% and more. So I have already 20% in the money as compared to the classical guy. That is what an edge an elliptician has. Okay. Now, when a 5-wave rise is getting complete and there is an ending diagonal pattern that is getting formed, at 5 you will be able to say कि यहाँ से stock आधा हो जाएगा. It will correct by 60% or 50% or 38%. At the top, you will say it will come down. Classical guys, okay, I'm saying all are good. But what edge elliptician has, this is what is the edge. Classical guys would want more of confirmation. Momentum sell में गया क्या? At that point of time, momentum may or may not be in sell. When it is forming or ending fifth. Okay, you are predicting that, preempting that. If fifth खत्म हुआ है, ABC will come. You might not be having much of evidence at that point of time probably. Volumes के साथ गिरा नहीं होगा. Probably it might not have reversed using Dow theory, because Dow theory में higher bottom बनता है. Until unless previous low is not broken, how can you say trend is reversed?
Right.
So ellipticians have an edge to preempt before it happens. So you're always in the money as compared to the classical guys. The only risk is what, that you are preempting. Classical guys are getting confirmations. So there, the probability of going wrong, being a classical guy, is less because you've got evidences. Being an elliptician, you have less probability of going right. Hence, your correct analysis is required. Otherwise, Elliott waves can blow you off. Because you are saying fifth khatam, it was just going
Yeah.
up. There was no other confirmation, right? So proper application of Elliott waves is required.
Got
Hence,
it.
proper follow-up of rules and guidelines is required, and people can't do that much. Hence, they ignore it, saying subjective. Otherwise, I would say one case study, Sanjana, way back, I'm taking you to 2015. Um, sugar prices had topped in India in 2006-7 time. 2006-7 में sugar stocks mostly at top, or probably in 2008 तो सब कुछ top हो गया था, right? Since then, all the sugar stocks, you go and check, one can check Banari Yaman Sugars, Balrampur Chini, Andhra Sugars, KCP Sugars, Balrampur Chini, and maybe any other sugar stocks. You know what was happening on all of those sugar stocks right from 2008, 2015? They were all consolidating and forming triangular pattern on a larger time frame of 8 years. All of these stocks were at 30, 40, 50 rupees, 100 rupees when they were completing the wave E of the consolidation. The breakouts were double the level of where they were trading at wave E. So, for example, Balrampur Chini was trading at 40 rupees, breakout was at 80 rupees.
Oh.
Okay. Andhra Sugar was trading at 20 rupees, breakout was at 40 rupees. I could spot triangles everywhere. I could spot wave E completion everywhere. मैंने तो report निकाल दिया while I was in Shergan saying that sugar stocks are bottom. I go and said in the media as well that sugar stock bottom. No one was able to take that. Why? Because sugar was not participating since 7 years. When there is so much of consolidation, when the stock prices are lower, you know what happens is the sentiment is too negative. जब sentiment इतना negative होता है, no one is able to believe you. So मैंने कहा यार wave खत्म है, bottom है, probably no. My boss could understand because he is a great electrician as well then. So he said, okay, नहीं report निकाल सकते हो, prediction or analysis is good. I went out and spoke in media. I said that this is what I find. Sugar prices have bottomed out probably. It can just become 4-5 times from here on. That is what happened also. They're like, okay, fine. All of them bottomed out. And we started seeing reports coming into the market when stock prices, provided a breakout, and till then the stock prices were more than double. 40 वाला 80 हो गया था, 100 हो गया था, 100 रुपए पे आ रहा है. I got in at 40. I mean, got in personally as in I got my clients and I recommended at 40.
So this was in 2015.
15. One can go and check somewhere in August and September 2015. I'm talking about the specific
because
months.
I remember it rallied quite a lot after 4-5 years.
It rallied. It became 3-4 times within a year. So that is what I would say is a case study of Elliott waves. This is one I have many of them. So I mean, this is how it helps you to basically have an edge and you can be ahead of the curve.
Right. So also Jay, you're very vocal about using quantitative strategies and algo trading. So what are these? Are there any segments of quantitative strategies? What are these exactly?
See, nowadays people are talking more of algo trading and all. I would say people need to understand the difference between algo trading or quant or API trading. Okay. Quant and API trading is more considered as an algo trading these days. This is what I understand. Okay, I may be wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
Sanjana, but algo trading क्या होता है? It is too much of quick trading. It can be scalping. It can be taking the benefits of the spreads. I mean, it is called kind of an HFT, high frequency trading.
Okay.
I think you consider that as an algo trading. If you have an MFT, LFT, medium frequency trading, LFT, low frequency trading, consider that as a quant or API based trading strategies. कि आपने मॉर्निंग में एक ट्रेड बना दिया, वो पूरा दिन चला, या तो एग्जिट हो गया, वापस री एंट्री नहीं हुआ, all of those set of rules wherein you are not too much trading every second or every minute. Okay, that is quant or API based trading. That is not algo. So one needs to understand the difference. This is what I understand. Okay, I don't know whether I am right or wrong, but I think probably yes. Okay. Now secondly, why I am so much of vocal about that thing is that, see Sanjana, I think that with this immense participation in options in India, wherein India has become so huge in derivative market, there is so much of liquidity, in markets as far as options are concerned. I'm talking especially about index options. इतना liquidity है. मैंने मेरे 15 साल के करियर में इतना liquidity options में नहीं देखा है. The kind of liquidity we have in Nifty or Sensex or Bank Nifty options. Great. And we see participation there as well, right? So what happens is that is providing you an opportunity for quant trading. Hence I'm pro quant or so much vocal about quant. कि जब है opportunity करो ना, earlier there was not much of liquidity, there was slippage, buying or selling में इतना depth ही नहीं था market में, you know. So if at all there is a basket order or huge order via algo or quant, there used to be something like, you know, किसी का fat finger है क्या इतना जोर से, there was not much depth. Buyers or sellers इतने नहीं, तब इतना liquidity है, you can have algo trading or maybe quant or IPI trading, you can. Point one. Second is that the movement have become very fast because of the introduction of the weekly options, you know. So and now you have so much of things, you know, to work on. I mean, you have an expiry day every day. Monday mid cap nifty से लेके Friday को you have Sensex expiry, you got expiry every day. Do you think that manually one will be able to track each and everything so much and then trade with a higher strike rate? We spoke about the strike rate win loss ratio. Is a manually करना, I think it's not that easy. हर किसी को इतना maintain करना. So probably you focus on manual trading somewhat. Suppose if you are trading with say X amount, so 0.5x probably you keep it for, you know, your judgmental or manual trading. You know what you say. 0.5 you keep it for quant. Let it do its work now. And see, it has got its own pros as well. Pros are what? के when you're not there in market, Sanjana, suppose आपको हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते के लिए if you want to go out, you want to take a break, at least this part is making money for you now. So probably you're partially out of markets, right? Yeah. And sometimes if you get biased, suppose, or if you are carried away with your emotions, see how much ever you try, ultimately हर एक human है. Even after 15 years of experience, I would say 10% तो वो element रहेगा ना मेरा कि नहीं यार शायद वो रहता है, right? So your brain is divided into limbic system and neocortex. So sometimes your limbic system, which works faster than neocortex ना, that will take over. Okay. So आपको rational thinking happens from neocortex and irrational thinking happens from limbic system, right? So आपको सोचना चाहिए neocortex से, but आप नहीं सोच पाते कभी-कभी because limbic system works faster. So this is all about brain and all. Subconscious mind is something, right? So आप कितने भी experience हो, sometimes there is an element कि you also become biased. Yeah. So at least your 100% money is not at risk that then. आपका 50% unbiased trading में तो है. Hence I am saying, hence vocal and pro, you know, nothing else. You have liquidity, you have got a chance, so why not use that? Yeah.
So like you said, SEBI का report आया था 90% of traders lose money in the markets, and that is maybe because of improper risk management strategies that they are using. So according to you, how should one approach risk management in trading?
See, this is very important. See, I mean, I'm so happy that SEBI is so vocal also, and SEBI is like doing good for investors and traders. I mean, they are bringing this to the notice of the traders. Ki, aap dhyan rakho, what are you doing? I mean, 9 out of 10 of you guys are losing money. Even they are concerned about it. See, they cannot stop this trading, okay? Because it's made for hedging purpose as well for the institutions or maybe for the HNIs or retailers, right? So they cannot stop it, but they are making you aware. अच्छी बात है वो लोग कर रहे हैं. But how to I would say, how do you understand this? 9 of 10 traders are making losses. You know, you understand it that way that whatever volumes happen na Sanjana in derivatives, in options, as I said, 98% happens in options. Now, पूरे वीक में समझो जितना भी बैंक निफ्टी या निफ्टी में और कोई भी इंडेक्स ऑप्शंस में ट्रेडिंग हो रहा है, उसका 70-75% happens when on the day of expiry. Okay. समझे आप? And expiry के दिन, you know, what happens is your premiums are the cheapest premiums you get. 5 rupees, 10 rupees, you know, 15 rupees.
Time value of money, right?
Because of that, last day only somewhat part is left theta. क्या हो जाता है वो दिन जब वो, you know, a trader is not trading on say suppose Nifty expires on Thursday, तो एक trader particularly Monday से Wednesday और Friday को ट्रेड ही नहीं करता है, और Thursday को आता है. क्यों आता है? 10 रुपए में मिल रहा है ना, 500 रुपए में तो even I am an option trader. So he is losing money. So what's happening is, first of all, those who are not trading on other days are coming on expiry day, hence expiry day volume is high. Second is, you know that 50% of options are going to go zero today. So risk as an option seller is less. That is just up to today. There is no overnight risk. तो sellers ज़्यादा आ जाते हैं. Right. So buyer point of view क्या होता है कि retailers come कि 5-10 रुपए में मैं लेता हूँ, zero हो जाए, and maybe it becomes 500 and I make a fortune out of it, you know. दूसरा क्या है कि who is not selling, taking an overnight risk, वो आ जाता है वो दिन के 10 रुपए में बेच के zero कर देता हूँ ना. Even I as an option seller, मेरा overnight risk तो है नहीं, तो मैं भी 10 रुपए में बेचता हूँ. So everyone would like to jump on expiry day and take maximum benefit of expiry day. So you have maximum participation when on expiry day. But maximum loss to expiry day पे होगा ना if you have maximum participation then, because आधे तो zero ही होने वाले options. So that is why this is how the data is. I mean, not all of them must be trading every day. Second is that because what happens is, suppose your risk appetite, Sanjana, is of 5,000 rupees. Now, suppose if you want to buy an option, suppose that premium is 100, तो आपने मंडे लिया, तो उसका आप कितने लॉट ले पाओगे? 1 lot.
1 lot.
राइट. बट अगर आप एक्सपायरी के दिन ले रहे हो, तो आप कितने लॉट ले पाओगे? 10 lot. If that is trading at say 10 rupees premium,
right,
then
makes
we'll be
sense.
buying
Makes
10
sense.
lots.
Okay.
So we'll be over trading or over leveraging also. आपको मजा आ रहा है. People try to average as well. You know, average का concept तो हर किसी को है. 100 पे लो, 90 पे लो, 80 पे लो, that way. So they'll buy 10, 8, 6, everyone. So everyone has their own strategy. That's okay. But then participation is more on expiry day. Okay, because they want to make more out of expiry day. Hence, this is what happens. I would say that over trading, over leveraging, mat karo on the day of expiry, because maximum losses happen that day, as per the SEBI report also, you know, as you said. And discipline ये और रखना चाहिए कि your position sizing, Sanjana, you should be able to keep that same. So Monday, if you are trading with 1 lot, on an expiry day also you trade with 1 lot. वो आप change मत करो. Monday 1 lot, expiry पे 10 lot. And then you end up making loss, क्योंकि Monday आपने एक lot पे 20 points कमाए, Thursday को आपने 10 lot पे हर एक lot पे 10-10 point गवाए. Because you thought कि वो दिन 100 रुपया था, अब 10 रुपया है, तो मैं equally amount ले रहा हूँ ना, but boss you are losing.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, understood.
So your position sizing is not proper. Your win-loss ratio, risk reward, again everything comes down there only. That is not good. Hence 9 of 10 people are making loss, and that is what it is.
And Jay, one more thing that I recently read was that many traders वो लोग ऐसा mental accounting करते हैं कि they keep their gains, capital gains as one bucket और बाकी जो उनका actual capital है that is the second bucket. तो they believe ये जो capital gains है उसमें वो लोग कितना भी risk ले it is fine. But usually they should view it as one bucket and then take, you know, proper risk basically. That's
Absolutely,
one thing that I read. So, Jay, how have you seen the trading landscape evolve over the years? Because you've been in the market since so long, probably a decade or more. So, how have you seen trends emerge, and what is your take on that?
Yeah. See, I would say since my days, I had this, tools available, many tools available to basically make your trading decisions. Probably, use of live charts, a good softwares for charting and everything. So I'm fortunate I had this. There was lack of few of the derivatives tools availability then. Now we have ample of it. So that is good. I mean, these all things are helping basically to make your trading decisions. As far as algo is concerned, quant is concerned, few years back when I started exploring quant side, Sanjana, it was way back in 2016 when I was with Sher Khan. I was trying to develop something using quant. तभी क्या था कि तभी भी इतने सॉफ्टवेयर्स अवेलेबल नहीं थे. आई वुड नॉट नेम इट राइट नाउ, बट देयर आर एम्पल ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर्स वेयरइन इट्स लाइक you just use the filters or the options available there, tick tick tick, and you can backtest. That's how it is, right? It has become so easy to make your trading decisions or maybe create those strategies, right? Then it was not. So that is something which has got evolved now. Derivative tools which have got evolved. There was only when I started, there were only technical research के लिए और technical analysis के लिए softwares were available. That's it. But derivatives and quant, the availability for the tools of that thing is what has evolved, I think. And see, there is a reason for that also,
Yeah.
Market will give something to the people when there is a demand. Okay, so like entertainment industry will produce those kind of movies जिसके जो movies की demand हो, songs वो हिसाब से आएंगे जो songs की demand हो, Clothing industry would produce or manufacturing something which is there in trend. So now, since derivatives and quant is now coming into trend, these things are coming more and more into the market. So this is how it has evolved, and I think that there's a difference between the crowd in the market as well, Sanjana. This is really something important insight I'm giving, and this is my observation. कि तभी के लोग जो थे, who were trading in market, say probably before 2010 or before 2014. 2014, why? Because the next BJP government came into the picture and markets kept moving higher since then. पहले का crowd जो था ना, they were not that options or quant pro, okay, and they had less risk appetite as well.
Okay.
because the awareness about the market was also less.
Hmm.
Now you see so many demat accounts have opened, probably they are more because during the COVID time, digital trading and all. So उससे millennials और Gen Zs आए.
Hmm.
Okay. अब ये लोग जो है ना, their risk appetite is higher obviously as compared to those people who are above 40, 45 who are trading, maybe 50 who are trading higher since to the 90s or 2000s, right? So ये लोग को they want more of derivative tools and quant tools, and trading is now has evolved this way. Just not investment, just not mutual fund. They want mutual fund and investment. Along with that, they want these things as well. So that's how it has evolved. Our industry has evolved.
Got it. So Jay, just on a closing note, would you like to give your 2 cents to traders who are just venturing into the markets? What are the mistakes that you made early on that you learned from, and you wouldn't want people to repeat those?
All right. See, I would say that one mistake I already told you that when I took my first trade, I was a bit overconfident and I over leveraged. So do not be overconfident. How much ever you have practiced, because markets are supreme, you are not supreme.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very clear. So मैंने बोला है and I think so this is what will happen. You are not God and you cannot be God. Okay, markets are supreme. Over trade, over leverage कभी मत करना. That will wipe out your capital, and once if that happens, you'll never be able to come back to the trading business or investing business, right? Rule 2 is that maintain discipline. Okay, so obviously rule 2 is maybe probably मैं ऐसा रखूंगा कि do not forget rule 1. Over trading or over leveraging मत करो, बाकी सब you keep doing it and practicing it. So
Right.
those things will come, Sanjana, with practice. So there are बहुत लोग आके ना must do's बताएंगे, 5 must do's, 10 must do's, 15 must do's don'ts. Public को पता है, जनता को पता है. So I would not talk much about it. One thing only I would say is that do not over trade or over leverage. रात को नींद आए ऐसे काम करना, and focus that you do not forget rule number 1. These are the 2 things. That's it, Sanjana.
Got it. Thank you so much, Jay, for doing this. It was very insightful. मैं बहुत कुछ सीख के जाऊंगी इस
Wow.
podcast से, and we hope to have you here soon.
Sure.
Thank
Thanks.
you.